Okay, so I had internet issues. I can see right now there's no viewers. So I'm just gonna give people a chance to get back. I'll tweet it out again. I'll send it out on eToro. I just need to get the link. Here we go. All right. So I can see people are starting to come back. I just need to let people know that that we have started again. Give everyone a chance. Hello, Saya Sasa. Name is so hard. Goody T. Welcome back, guys. I don't know what happened. I lost my internet. That very rarely happens, but happen now. Always happens when you don't need it. I am just gonna mention. All right. Give me a chance to share it. All right, I have now shared it on eToro, Twitter. Let's go. Bitcoin Q&A back. Yeah, really sorry about that. That was annoying. We had like 37 people listening. Yeah, it's a new stream. Unfortunately, the other link, when I got disconnected for whatever reason, it may be that I was getting too low on battery because I forgot to put in my charger. You don't want to leave the electricity um, on your laptop all the time. You destroy the battery. I always put it on before going live, but I forgot this time. So what a shame, because I'm sure there was lots of good questions, but everyone who was on the stream before um, saw the link, hopefully. One or two places, either eToro or Bitcoin, Twitter. So I've shared this new link, both those places. I'm going to give it a few seconds or minutes for people to come back. But otherwise, let's just start again, take questions. So hope to see people back here. Yeah. All right. Goody T, what's up? Count Bitcoin, new stream. You're right. Shelly Mag. So Shelly Mag, just so you know, so this is a relatively boring Bitcoin Q&A, all signal, very little noise. Or I don't know, is that bad? Does that sound like you're praising yourself? But yeah, it's not toxic happy hour today. We're not down the pub right now and having fun with our mates. I'm just talking Bitcoin. But you know what? It's something that a lot of people like to be able to ask question, and I love talking about it. MG Smith, you're right. This is not the real Anders. I am just an imposter. Body switch. Yo, MG Smith, if I could do a body switch, I would be there right now. Tell me where I can buy a body switch. I actually happen to have from the gym, I got an issue with my left shoulder, which means I can't go to the gym anymore. And then COVID, ruining everything on top of that. I am not in the shape I used to be. I need to get back. I have a good buddy of mine, one of my absolutely best friends back in Denmark. He's a chiropractic. I was meant to see him March last year, and he was meant to fix my shoulder. He promised he's going to fix my shoulder. But my flight was exactly like 17 hours after everything shut down. So I lost my flight. Still didn't get the money back from SAS. Scandinavian Airline Sisters. Don't fly with SAS. I'm upset. They kept my $1,000 or whatever for that flight. Didn't get it back yet. Probably will get it later. That's what they say. And talking of flying, I gotta tell you. So the way Boeing has been operating with the 737 Max, and apparently the management today is from military industry, where there's a lot of focus on maximizing profit, not necessarily always thinking of the safety, even though you should. I would rather today trust Airbus Airlines. So I prefer. Hopefully it'll get better for Boeing, but so sorry, I don't want to fly in planes from a company that focuses on too much on profit and maximizing and not having security and safety of passengers highs. All right. LVL banking. I don't know what LVL banking is. So sorry everyone that wrote questions before. We were 37 people before, now we're 18. I hope people come back, and otherwise I'm going to do this every week, I think, going forward. I enjoy doing this. I love talking Bitcoin. This is my passion. So consider it safe to copy open trades. Absolutely yes. Like if you don't copy open trades, it could be a while before I buy Bitcoin on eToro again, because I only buy the dip really. Or usually, or it's a very, if the price is not in a dip, I may throw something in just because I have some dirty fiat lying around, and then I don't care what price I buy it at. So absolutely, I would say if you want the performance of my portfolio, which is 100% allocation to Bitcoin, in a bull market that is going near vertical, you want to copy open trades. That is right. Look, so we make fun of Toxic Happy Hour that because it's amateur hour, we don't have sponsors. Although I would love to have Guinness as a sponsor. Anyone knows a marketing director on Guinness? I want to have Guinness as sponsor. Then we always have some problem happening on Toxic Happy Hour. It's part of the brand, I guess. And yeah, here we go. I couldn't even escape it. Had an issue with my internet. And actually, I don't think it was my laptop, because even the stream here behind me, which is nothing to do with my laptop, that also lost the internet. That's right. That is correct. We've got Bitcoin TV, aka CoinHub, in the background, 24/7. Learn about internet, product by Swan Bitcoin. All right. All right. So if you ever watch Toxic Happy Hour, we have a lot of internal jokes that you'll come to learn if you watch on a regular basis. Just ask Marty Zal. He knows them all. At least he thinks so. So he'll have an answer for you. Best cold storage option, it's I heard, I don't use Coldcard, but Coldcard from CoinKite, if this is where you want to go, it has been known to be the best. But I mean, there are differing opinions. We interviewed JW recently on Toxic Happy Hour, and he goes to the extreme of like another laptop Ubuntu, like erase the software operating system, etc., etc. I don't spend my Bitcoin because I don't want to spend it now when I believe it will have $20 million per Bitcoin in value. So I spend as little as possible. And I actually currently don't at all touch it. I am yet again back in a position where I can accumulate more Bitcoin. So that's what happening. So Douglas Rodriguez, what happened to all crypto today is that when Bitcoin sneezes, the rest, they what do you call that? You know the saying. There's a good point there, because look at Ethereum. Ethereum goes up measured in dollars. Why? It didn't have a halving. There's no less supply of Ethereum. Let's get back into swinging at the shitcoins that are delaying the adoption of global sound money. I recommend going back and watching the 20 minutes or so I got before I was killed on the other stream from my internet. And hey, even though I'm a Bitcoiner, I do pay my internet connection, because that's pretty much the only social life I have during COVID. Especially Toxic Happy Hour, the friends I have there, Puppy, and those guys that are helping out the crew, those legendary memers. I connect with them through internet. Anyway, so Ethereum has gone up just because Bitcoin has gone up. There's no fundamental underlying reason that Ethereum has gone up. There is for Bitcoin, not Ethereum. The only reason Ethereum is going up is because there's some money flowing from Bitcoin into Ethereum. But before you think that is a great idea and a good investment, remember that Ethereum, maybe it has an all-time high measured in dollars, but everything has all-time highs sooner or later measured in dollars, because that currency is collapsing. So what you got to measure prices in is Bitcoin. already now Bitcoin is deflationary because prices of everything in Bitcoin falls. Look at the car you want to buy and say, how much Bitcoin is that? Okay, that car is 1 Bitcoin. Well, probably, half a year from now, that is like 0.3 of a Bitcoin. I use Bitcoin as my unit of account, as what I measure prices in. I recommend others today to do the same, to start understanding the deflationary aspects of Bitcoin that already are prevalent today. And then I know you say, yeah, but there's ups, there's downs, there's been bear markets. Yes, but that's a 4-year cycle that is triggered by the 4-year event, which is the halving. Now, if you zoom out from the cycle and say, okay, I understand there's a 4-year cycle. Let's look at the price right now compared to 4 years ago. What is it deflationary? Well, you bet Bitcoin is deflationary. At the very bottom of the bear market in 2018, 16th of December 2018, when Bitcoin came down to about $3,100, Bitcoin was still up more than 850% compared to 4 years earlier. So if you want to look at Bitcoin, whether it's going up in general or it's not, realize that there's a 4-year cycle. Historically, there's been a 4-year cycle. Zoom out, look at the price 4 years ago, do this exercise for yourself for the sake of your learning, and say, 4 years ago, what was the price of Bitcoin? What is the price today? And all right, let me just see what I can do top of my head. So February 2017, 4 years ago, Bitcoin was around early thousands. I would say probably around 1,400, 1,500. That's a guess. So let's say 1,500, like worst case, highest price. From 1,500 4 years ago to now, where we at above 50,000, Bitcoin has done a 15, 20x, a lot. So Bitcoin is deflationary. Bitcoin goes up in price. Bitcoin, in my opinion, is not dangerous. It is dangerous not to have Bitcoin. Anyways, anyone taking dip of the advantage of the dip today? I was sleeping, but you know what? That's when it's nice not to be a day trader. I have my 100% allocation to Bitcoin, so I sleep well. And on eToro, where popular investors, which is what they call it, that I am a part of that program, where I compete with other, public investors, and all the best of luck to them. But my portfolio of 100% Bitcoin allocation has been killing it and outperforming these portfolios that contain, in my opinion, a lot of garbage. I know none of them are doing it thinking that that they're buying garbage. That is just my opinion, that it is garbage when you talk about altcoins, and that they have no alternative use case, and therefore we are left with no other choice than to call them shitcoins. So yes, BTC Moon Guy is back. BTC Moon Guy, ladies and gentlemen, give him a lot of credit in the chat. He was the first person in the chat, makes it to every single live session. BTC Moon Guy, I hope I meet you in Miami, June 4 and 5. Come up to me, please. I do want to buy you a beer, mate. And not more than that, because this is Bitcoin. We don't like to spend Bitcoin, right? I'm kidding. But he has always been there to support us. Total shout out. Damien, right? You got questions here. When it has 20 million in value, will you still have to cash out to buy real estate, or do you think you borrow against weekend? Okay, so this is a very, very, very important question, because a lot of people have this question. So when I say Bitcoin will be $20 million in value, I'm talking about today's purchasing power. What will actually happen is that dollar will inflate to, it will hyperinflate, in my opinion, and be absolutely, utterly useless. So the only money we have left is Bitcoin. You go to Europe, they only have Bitcoin. You go to Japan, they only have Bitcoin. China, whatever, etc. The same. Bitcoin will be the money that we have, in my opinion, the only money of the world. And that means you don't take a loan against it, because Bitcoin is the only money. You can't take a Bitcoin loan against Bitcoin. It doesn't make sense. First of all, you'll be able to have a free market interest rate return on your Bitcoin, which is what BlockFi right now is offering, where you can get a 6%, I believe, return on your Bitcoin. I will strongly warn and advise against taking a US dollar loan or any other dirty fiat currency loan against your Bitcoin, because you need one bad day in the market and your Bitcoin are wiped out, and a stop loss, your Bitcoin is sold, and you're stuck with the money you got from the loan. I would say you do what you want to do, make your own research, do your own research, make your own decision. But I strongly advise against taking a dollar loan on your Bitcoin. If you want to put it there to get an interest rate, after I listened to Preston Pish's interview with BlockFi CEO Zach, then I totally see that there's a free market, legit loan market, not necessarily just for short selling, but to market make on exchanges. That I would be comfortable with. Not not more than 10-20% maybe of your Bitcoin, but that I would be comfortable with. So yeah, when we buy real estate and supermarket shopping or anything by the end of this decade, latest, in my opinion, then it's Bitcoin you're paying with. Today already, you can buy real estate with Bitcoin. Some real estate agents already have experience with this, but otherwise, they have a big financial incentive if they find a buyer for a piece of real estate, that they'll work it out. So I hope I answered there. So what do we got here? Douglas, man, I couldn't sleep 4 a.m. Watch this BS drop all across. I'll watch the stream. Yeah. So look, Douglas, the reason we sleep well is because we don't day trade. We are fully 100% allocated. It outperforms. I mean, look at my portfolio on eToro and the performance, which is compared, and that's why I find eToro so useful. It compares to anyone day trading, shitcoins or combinations of Bitcoin, whatever. My portfolio of 100% allocation to Bitcoin outperforms pretty much everything else, and the ones that have been lucky to throw the dart like right at the right time, just before some shitcoin pumped. So I think that just nails the point that in a bull market like this, nobody has certain information about the short term. We don't day trade Bitcoin. Maybe you don't, I don't know. Maybe you just got nervous about the money you've invested. Maybe you haven't been around to see this happen before. I saw this in 2017. We will get those slaps in the face corrections, but you just hold on. This is where we say, have a strong hand, eyes on the ball. And because we've done the research, I feel I know that Bitcoin is going way higher. So there's no way I get nervous and sell, because I know we're going to see above 300,000. None of what I say is financial advice. All right. So when do you think that Bitcoin will hit 100,000? So again, this is my bullish case, and this is not something that if it doesn't happen, come back to me and say it didn't happen. This is not a prediction, but I think it could happen in March next month. I think it's a realistic scenario. But you know what? It'll latest happen, I think. I'll put my name on that first half of this year. But I think there's a very good chance of March. If March misses, it'll likely be April. But don't trade on it, because that is not short term is unpredictable for everyone. All right, what else we got here? Chris Brown. Yeah, so what you're saying here was my belief before COVID happened. It was also still my belief last summer, before we saw the effects of the COVID destruction, quantitative easing on steroids. I no longer see an 80% pullback. I doubt we'll see a 50% pullback. So I'll lose a steak dinner bet with Greg Sash at a gourmet restaurant in Florida, unfortunately. I have another bet with my co-host from Toxic Caviar, Poppy, where he was willing to say there will be no 40% pullback. That 40% pullback, I'm pretty sure we'll see. We just had 31%, and we're not really up in the cloud yet price-wise. So that 40%, I feel quite comfortable we'll see. Comfortable. You say, but you like the price to go down? No, I don't like the price to go down, but it just happens, and it's best to be prepared for realistic scenarios. Anyway, so if Bitcoin goes down, I could see a top happening in Q3 this year. If it goes down to a minus 45% correction, Then I lose steak dinner to Greg. Both of them are my friends. I win one from Poppy. So Poppy just have to pay for Greg, and I pay for myself, and we're all going out as three mates. And painting the city red. I don't know if you have that expression in English, but we'll go to town. Have a good night. So I don't see 80%. With COVID stimulus, just basically right now collapsing dollars in real time. The fact that COVID stimulus has taken this destruction of the dollar to the level where companies that are listed on the stock exchange says publicly, we can't hold dollars because it loses value. Publicly listed companies in the United States, the biggest stock market in the world, are saying we can't hold dollars because it loses value. We are, these things are super bullish. It means in my opinion, we are now in the super cycle, which means the last cycle where it's the end of the cycle really, and we're just prices collapsing upwards real time right now. Does that mean we won't get a 20% slap in the face like this morning or whatever it was? Maybe it was 17% down. No, they will be there, and there will be some that are above a 40%. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm pretty sure I'll win that stake bet with Puppy. And but the bear market, I don't see a bear market. So this is how I see right now. Again, the only thing, I want you to come back to me and said, Anders, you said this would happen. What I will tell you, I think happen is that that Bitcoin will reach minimum 300,000 within 12 months from now. That I'm extremely confident of. In terms of what I think actually is likely to happen, but don't hold me up to it, is a top in Q3, which is significantly higher. That, to me, that top will be followed by a slap in the face, more than 40% correction. And after that, again, we're off to the races because dollars collapsing real time. Companies are realizing they can't hold dollars, and that is a big, big problem. If companies realize they can't hold dollars, it also means that it's a matter of time before big lenders to United States, government with sovereign bonds, government bonds, they start to think the same thing. They say, we don't want to hold dollar, and government bonds essentially is a dollar. It's a claim on the dollar. It's like, instead of getting, your $100 million, $1 billion, having it now, we lend it and then we get something back, plus minus whatever the interest rate is. So when countries start to think the same way that Michael Saylor right now is pioneering in the corporate space, that is a collapse of the dollar. It could happen this year. So we could be at $1 million. And again, don't hold my name to it. I'm just saying it could happen. We could be at $1 million this year. So should I wait buying? No, like, doesn't matter if you pay 47, 48, or 62, or 85. If we're going above 300, which I'll put my name on, or if we're going to $1 million, who cares? Do you want to risk missing the train? It's leaving the station. Now's the time you jump on that train. I don't care where you are at the station. You run for that train. My opinion, not financial advice. Make your own decisions, and you're responsible for your own financial decisions. I'm just here to give you my opinion. It's part of your journey. You should do all the research yourself. But I could see next year that we end up with a, this year we could hit, 500,000, 1 million, and then next year that could be the collapse of the dollar. We could go to the millions and millions and essentially see hyperinflation. This could be game over by the end of 2022. That's a very best case scenario for Bitcoin, a worst case scenario for dollars. So it may be delayed, and maybe it won't happen next year. But that's the thesis that I'm starting to think. Right. Okay, Chris Brown, I think you said that twice. What do we got here? I stacked sats at 48,800 this morning, left my 2-year-old in bed later than usual, just so her crying wouldn't cost me a chance to buy more Bitcoin. Well, there you go. You know what? You did something that is best for your family long term. I'm not going to blame you, because if you can buy financial freedom for your kids so they're not enslaved in a fiat regime job with some boss whipping them, not physically, but mentally, whatever, having them slaving away in a cubicle somewhere. I think it's a price probably worth paying. I'll probably get a lot of heat from that. Take care of your babies, obviously, but buying Bitcoin is good for your family. All right, what we got here? Alan Chai, your forecast of Bitcoin going up to 300,000. Does that still stand today? And when do you think that target will be reached? So, yeah, I still have that as my target, minimum 300,000, with latest Q1 next year. But honestly, that is a bearish target. So I see that it will likely happen in Q3 this year. Don't hold me to it. Hold me to the 12 months target Q1 next year. But this could very likely happen Q3 this year. Terence Seifert, you're most welcome. I do this because I love it. And my life today pretty much has become a close to 100% Bitcoin life. And I get to do my passion. I get to help other people stay the course, focus on Bitcoin. And I feel I'm doing, these people a favor, like all other Bitcoiners that are praising the word of a better future and telling people about the lifeboat in this tsunami of central banking evil. So hardware wallets, yeah, there's always concerns. There's pros and cons. You got to be really careful. No malware on your computer. Are you sure there's no malware? I am comfortable having some of my Bitcoin custodial, and I know between maximalist, which I consider myself a toximalist because I'm a proud fighter of scams. So Vitalik Buterin calls us toxic, like we're so bad we should embrace their scams and allow them to do their little scamming in the corner. No, sir, we don't. We speak out against that. And if you want to call us toxic, you know what? I'll wear it as a badge of honor. So I'm totally okay to have something custodial, because what if something happens? To me, my cold storage is something. Generational passing on of Bitcoin is not completely untricky. I'm not an expert in it. So I have some custodial, which means I have Bitcoin on eToro. I have Bitcoin also elsewhere, and I'm fine to have something with my name a couple of different places apart from cold storage. What I hear is best, I don't have experience with this, is Coldcard from CoinKite. Can we put on the Bitcoin in industry trust? Actually, shouldn't don't trust me. I believe I'm a trustworthy guy, right? But I know you're joking. But it's an important point. You always, in Bitcoin, we have a saying: don't trust, verify. Always do your research, verify. Don't trust anyone. Always think: do they have a financial incentive to do something, that say one thing and do something else? So always do a lot of research on your own. Marty's Al is calling me a bear. That means when I see you in Miami, I will buy you only one beer and not two beers the first 5 minutes. What happens after that, we'll see. Baby won't be crying when she figures out how many sats dad stack. I couldn't agree more. Greg Sush, my man. So for those who don't know, for those who are not on Bitcoin Twitter, Bitcoin maxis like myself have gone full laser eyes. This was started by a couple of my good friends, Greg Sash, one of them, where the whole thing started. It was Chairforce that originally came up with the hashtag laser race till 100Ks. I think like it's supposed to rhyme. And so we all on Bitcoin Twitter have laser eyes on our avatars until Bitcoin reaches $100,000. These guys are legends. What you're seeing right here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, anyone visiting from eToro, Greg Sash is one of these meme legends that I'm lucky and honored to call my friends. Marial, top bowler himself, awesome dude. And I can't wait to meet as many of these guys as possible when we come to the Bitcoin conference that's called Bitcoin 2021, which is in Miami, June 4 and 5. And we are gonna party like there is no tomorrow. Hopefully we'll come out with many survivors from that. And whoa, let me get. So this is the hashtag that Greg Sash was one of the pioneers pushing. And look, these friends of mine, these memers, are geniuses. They are hilarious. Go on Twitter, join Bitcoin Twitter, start following some of these legends, and that's why we all, this little group of my friends, I saw it from the sidelines how it evolved, that even Elon Musk has laser eyes. The guy's the world's richest dude has laser eyes, and it all started from this little group of friends I have that are freaking legends. You're most welcome, Alan. I know this is, I know it's needed. I know that people sometimes, tend to panic sell if there's a correction, and they get nervous if, well, is Bitcoin really the future? And, because you get that 20-30% correction slap in the face. So I know it's useful, and but it's not fake. My confidence is has come over time. Actually came pretty quickly once I looked into things with Bitcoin. I've had a ridiculous high confidence in Bitcoin pretty much from day one. To me, it's just logic. It's logic playing out. And when it came, there was I'll share this. There was a time in call it me being still on the sidelines, but I was observing. I was very interested in the Bitcoin. In Bitcoin back summer of 2017 in that bull market, where the SegWit2 or the Btrash attack on Bitcoin was happening, where they wanted to double the block size, which was an attack. I don't want to go into all the details. It's not unnecessary here, but my point is, there is a guy, Luke Dash Jr., really smart guy. He's a programmer, so he had knowledge within something that I wasn't knowledgeable about. And there was a lot of fear in not fear, but there was a lot of uncertainty in Bitcoin, that we didn't know what would happen when they launched their attack on Bitcoin, with forking it, doing a hard fork and changing the software, changing the protocol to increase the block size. And so there was a lot of uncertainty. But Luke Dash Jr., he's a guy so smart that you listen to him speak, and within 5, 10, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, this dude is, world-class smart within his field. And what was very useful for me was that he was super calm. It's like, okay, so they're going to fork it. They're going to change the protocol. That's going to be a hard fork. They're going to go off on their own. But market is signaling that they want this Bitcoin, not the Btrash, aka Bitcoin Cash, but Btrash. He was so confident there that it helped a lot of people, and including myself. If I can play the same role and help people with my confidence, which is not. It's not something I'm trying to show that I don't have. I have this confidence. I am confident Bitcoin is going to $20 million of today purchasing power. I am confident that 0.1 Bitcoin means 1/10 of a Bitcoin, which is 10 million sats. I am confident that's financial independence by the end of this decade, latest. I'm 100% confident that's going to happen. It's not financial advice. Don't risk anything you don't want to risk. But to me, being in fiat currency, that's risky. You say Bitcoin is volatile. I just told you that every 4 years it's higher. Like, it's always higher if you look 4 years back. So don't think it's not, like, it's risky because there's like a little bit of a cycle there in between. No, it is going up, straight up. If you take a little bit of a perspective, zoom out on the 4-year period. But if you look at the dollar, if you want certainty, hold dollar, because you're certain it loses value every single year. I would rather, as Michael Saylor say, have some volatility increasing in value a lot and fast than having certainty and no volatility dropping like a stone. So I noticed your trade in eToro was in multiples at the same time. Why and how did you do that? So you can't buy like if it's not the very same time. So in January, when Bitcoin was dipping from 42 down to 29, I bought the dip several times. So yeah, it wasn't the same day, but I think I started buying at 34. Then it fell further to 33. I bought more. It fell further to 32. I bought more. I bought down at 29 something. May not all have happened on eToro, but basically, I send you guys the signal that I was buying the dip. So you could use that for inspiration or not. So it's not exactly the same time, but in a dip, I may keep buying. It's dollar cost averaging in during the dip. So if you buy every 1 hour, you're pretty sure to catch something near the bottom. Who we got here? Carlos Bada. I'm in Miami. Let me know more information about the conference if possible, please. Yeah. So because I had to restart this this stream because I lost internet early on, then the link is not down below. Go to any of my other videos. You'll find a link down below on YouTube where there's a link to buying the ticket to Miami conference, June 4 and 5. It's Bitcoin Magazine hosting it. And if you pay with dirty fiat, as we call it, which is dollar, then you get a 21% discount. We actually don't make anything from that link. I don't make anything, but you get a 21% discount. I would advise 2 tickets. Well, no advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I bought the general admission ticket, which means you can go to all the the speeches. There's an amazing lineup of speakers, June 4 and 5 in Miami. That's general admission, and then I bought the after party ticket. I'm not exactly sure what it includes. So I presume there's at least one party sometime after the conference, and I can tell you there is no way in this world that I'm missing out. And in the parallel universe, also, I'm not missing out. I am not missing out on the after party. I'm gonna meet some of my best friends for the first time ever that I've only seen over the internet in June, and we're gonna have a good time. I guarantee you that. All right, so what do we have here? Cameron Smith, agree. There have been lots of bullish developments in the past few months, whereas some scenarios you can imagine in the next 12 months that what will reduce your expectations. I don't think there's anything that can reduce my expectations to this bull run cycle. Everything is bullish. Everything. The dollar is collapsing right now, real time in front of our eyes. It's only if you look in at zoom in like a few days, development in price, they go, oh, but it dropped, from 57 to 47. Yeah, maybe the dollar is not collapsing. Well, take a look back. Look at last summer when we were at 10,000. Now we're at 57. The dollar is collapsing. It just, nothing goes up in a straight line. Nothing, no assets go up in a straight line. There's always volatility, especially when you're doing this violent disruption. Violent as in there's no violence, as in physical violence, but is happening fast. That's what I mean by violence. It's happening. It's speedy disruption. Speedy disruption especially cannot go up in a straight line. So my bullish scenario is, because I don't want to disappoint anyone, I'm saying that my opinion is minimum 300,000 latest Q1 next year. But my thinking of what I think will happen is turning bullish to Q3 this year, that we could go significantly higher. What else we got here? In the process of Sale Academy, Stefan Lera, Bitcoin course, I recommend all your followers take the free course. Very informative. William Myers, absolutely agree. Again, Stefan Lera is the podcaster that we had on Toxic Happy Hour. Either it was last week or the week before. Amazing show. This dude is awesome. What a cool guy, Stefan Lera. He wants to come to Miami, but he lives in fascist Australia, where the restrictions are so hard that even if he takes tests when leaving and coming back, and quarantining and everything, he may not be able to go back in Australia. That's the world we're living in now. So unfortunately, he may not be able to make it. But he's an awesome dude, and he's very knowledgeable. Go sign up to his podcast. And Saylor Academy is Michael Saylor, who's the one of the most visionary men of last year in the world. Knows a lot about this dude knows a lot about Bitcoin. So when they put together an academy, thumbs up. You want to go spend your time on that. John M, thank you for checking in from Ireland. Dude, where's my sponsorship from Guinness? You live in Ireland. Go find out who it is. Talk to them. Tell them that Poppy and Danish want Guinness sponsorship ASAP. Don't people get $10 in free by using your Swan link? Yes, they do. Use mine, use anyone's. Greg, pitch your own. Uh, that's right, Marty Sal. What else we got? Williams, no visit to Miami is complete without a fishing and sandbar boat day. If you probably have time doing it that way. I don't know if we have, to be honest. I don't think so. I think we'll be probably pretty much pop crawling from say 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. But hey, dude, it sounds cool. Thank you for your hospitality. Let's meet in a pub. I want to see all these dudes more than going to things that we normally really enjoy. We'll probably take another trip to Miami and do some of these cool things. Given the low transactions per second of Bitcoin alliance of proof of work, don't you think cryptos like Ethereum have a great? Absolutely not. So if you go back to the first stream, I was interrupted with a cut in the internet. You know, people use internet more because of COVID. Everyone's working from home. I explained why Ethereum is an absolute garbage, junk, scammy project, and it has scaling problems. But they tell you this so that you spend your money so they can sell you the coins they gave themselves at launch that they didn't buy, but they gave themselves 70% of the pre-mine they gave to themselves, so they could dump them on you with these arguments. First of all, proof of work is what is making Bitcoin immutable and it is making it impossible for governments to go and censor your transactions or to steal your money. Proof of work is necessary to have a trustworthy blockchain. Ethereum is trying to go away from this because they have huge scaling problems. Ethereum is a deck of cards, house of cards, that will collapse sooner or later. Once people stop believing the lies that, unfortunately, you may have bought into that I put on the screen now, that's going to collapse. Look, already Ethereum is only 20-30% of its max price denominated in Bitcoin from what it's been earlier. Ethereum is a downhill slope. Maybe not in dollars, but dollars is falling in value. Everything falls in price in measured in dollars. Measure everything in Bitcoin. That's what I do. Bitcoin is my unit of account. I measure everything. I look at a car. Back in November, I looked at a car. October, November. The car was $18,000. I really wanted to get it. Convertible, an old Mercedes AMG. I thought that would be fun, but it was 1.5 Bitcoin because the price of Bitcoin was $12,000 at the time. And I'm a believer in this bull market. And hey, we're up about more than 4 times since then. So I was like, there's no way I can depart with 1.5 Bitcoin to buy a secondhand car, because knowing what I feel I know, that Bitcoin is going to $20 million, that would be the same as spending $30 million buying that car. That's what deflationary money does to you. It starts changing your picture from this consumption into preserving wealth and creating financial independence for yourself, living within your means instead of constantly going in credit card debt, other debt, to create this, all of us running around like little mice or hamsters in the hamster wheel, enriching the central bank owners that are diluting the currency that we're holding for our savings. So, but then Shvat, also want to tell you that on top of Bitcoin sits Lightning Network. Okay, Lightning Network is a second layer solution where at no fee or below like 0.001% or something like that, it's basically free. You have instant transaction and the capacity is unlimited. So that solution have been solved, yet they still get away with saying this. This is a 2017 argument. It's not a 2021 argument. This now they can't use this FUD anymore. So they will give you other FUD. FUD is fear, uncertainty, and doubt that they try to plant on Bitcoin. So for some reason, people go in and buy their shitcoin to enrich the owners and not helping the money adopt global sound money faster. Marial, he answered it much better than me. Nah, right? Didn't spend 20 minutes answering like I did. But that's how I am. I'm like a detail-oriented, like perfectionist that, to my own analysis of me. So I go into detail and I like to explain everything. and it's taking some time. John M, thank you for working on a Guinness sponsorship. This is what we want. So on this channel, you know, it the money you can make from being a commercial YouTuber, I just don't think it's a lot. Maybe I'm mistaken. I don't think it's a lot. So I have one criteria, and that is I will never recommend, I won't recommend, but mention anything that I wouldn't do so without money. So I may say I enjoy Guinness beer. That doesn't mean you should drink Guinness beer, but it's something I would tell you whether Guinness pay me or not. I wouldn't say Cold Card for cold storage if they were a sponsor. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't. I will tell you without them being a sponsor. There will never be a sponsor here. I don't think they're interested in it, and they don't need to because I already say it's good. But if there's any of them that wants to, pay for Poppy and I to get together, and the rest of the crew like Greg Sash, Chairforce, other dudes, Marty Sal, we will spend that money on getting together. It's not going to make anyone rich with sponsorships, but only ever consider sponsorships that I would say anyway for free, like Guinness. So thank you for working on that sponsorship. I think it could be a cool feature for them, for Guinness, to here in my living room have a what is called a waitress or server or bartender standing in my living room with the sole purpose of making the next Guinness ready while I'm having the first Guinness that she poured. Serving a Guinness is something that takes time. I was behind a bar many years ago, and you don't serve it like a normal beer on tap. You don't just serve a Guinness in 5-10 seconds. Go watch Legends. Go watch Legends with the Cray brothers. Tom Hardy playing that role of those twins. You'll see a little bit something about serving Guinness. So, John, if you get that sponsorship with Guinness for this channel, I love you, man. I love you anyway. And thank you, Satoshi Cat. Cryptos are a joke. Just stack sats. If you want to improve, I totally agree. If you want to improve the prospects for you, your family, your loved ones, you stack sats, which means buying Bitcoin, because one Bitcoin is 100 million sats. Bitcoin is it's not expensive because it's cheap compared to what you get, in my opinion, but a lot of people are worried because one Bitcoin is 55,000 or whatever. So, instead of saying buying Bitcoin now, we say stack sats. Just every day, every week, whenever you have money, accumulate more Bitcoin. That is your financial future right there. Couldn't agree more. BTC Moon Guy, dude, thank you for always being here on pretty much every single live stream. Thank you for your support from the get-go. I think it was 4.5 months ago that Poppy and I started doing Toxic Happy Hour. You were the only guy in the chat. You were here to support us. Love you for it, mate. All right. Currently, there's no more questions in the chat. If you want me to answer more questions, please throw it in the chat. Have to run. Thanks for what you do. See you on the next Taxi Happy Hour. William, Myers, thanks for hanging around. Cheers to you. So while you guys can potentially write something, questions in the chat, let me get some more coffee, because when I do Toxic Happy Hour with Poppy, I get a chance to breathe, and I don't when I just sit here like a non-stop oral waterfall spilling out my thoughts. So let me get a sip of my Preet's ground coffee from my filter coffee machine, which is absolutely excellent. Non-paid sponsorship right there. So it's not a sponsorship. It's just a shout out to Pete's Coffee. Amazing. So good. BTC Moon Guy, you are most welcome. All right. It seems that there are no more questions from the chat. We probably lost questions because I did the first stream and people were cut off because I lost the internet connection. I had to restart it. So now there's 2 live Q&A, and I would recommend anyone who has seen only this, go back and watch the first one as well. I don't think it was very long, maybe 20-30 minutes before my internet was had an interruption, and we got started there on some pretty good questions from the audience, viewers, and I think that's So, John, look, I don't, I have no experience with Coldcard. I think what you're saying there, or you're asking, is something that is worth considering. But it's also important in general to be comfortable and confident in what you do. So any cold storage you start using, and I have this also, from Matt Odell, who's pretty much a legend and specialist in that space. First, with small amounts of money, and when I say money, I mean Bitcoin. I don't mean dirty fiat dollar, because it's not money. Money can store value. Just look it up in the dictionary. Before you start using it for bigger parts of your savings, start playing around with it. Delete it, restore the backup, make sure that you're comfortable with all those things you need to do the day that you actually do lose whatever, like the coin kite, and you need to start like creating a backup. Go through all those processes or whatever they call, to make sure that you're confident, so you can do the backup, restore your wealth, should you need it one day, because it probably will be needed sooner or later. Play with the small amounts of money that you can afford to lose. So, all right, that's all. No more questions from you guys in the chat. I think now I'll unfortunately have to go over to the more boring day of my life, which is going through email and doing actual work. I prefer this so much. This here so much more. But hey, everyone, thanks for watching. And I'll try and do this on a weekly basis going forward, because I get a lot of questions, especially on eToro. People on Bitcoin Twitter are quite advanced and know most of the stuff themselves, but especially from you guys from eToro, there's a lot of questions, and I want to send that message of keeping a strong hand, not to panic sell, stay the course, 100% Bitcoin allocation, eyes on the ball, and my eyes on the ball is on the $20 million Bitcoin purchasing power later this decade, when I believe that dirty fiat has fully collapsed. Up, wait, what do we got here? Up to 1,000 subscribers. Wash hands. I don't know if I'm there. We were just below 1,000 this morning. So yeah, maybe these two streams today, which essentially was one Q&A, has taken us there, which would be cool. Let's see. All right, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for your questions. Hopefully next time I won't experience internet interruptions. Have yourselves, all of you, a great Monday. I believe it's Monday now, right? Have a great Monday. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. And if your life is tough right now, I think the best solution to whatever it is you have, stack sats and see your financial freedom start growing. Starts as a seed. Those sats is the seed of your financial freedom, and it will blossom as Bitcoin is disrupting money of the world and its world. Meant to be a clap, right? So, did we reach 1,000 subscribers? Awesome. Thank you guys for subscribing. Sometimes, subscribe and notification means you'll be notified when I go live, but I also always try to tell people anyway. But in case something happens like now, you'll be at least get the notification that a new stream started. Doesn't happen often, but it can happen. And we are ending now. There's really not more to say, so you're fine to leave the stream. Great analysis, good info, stack sats and hodl. Yorkie, you're saying it perfectly. This is going to be the last one I throw on the screen. Hodl, that is what we do on eToro, 100% Bitcoin allocation, no day trading. We're just in there to get 100% full allocation to every single pump in this Bitcoin bull run. And we're going much higher, in my opinion. And we probably have a high number in Q3. That much I will say and put my name to. We're going to have a high number in Q3. All right, thanks for watching. Please don't put store more value in dirty fiat than you can afford to lose, because it's a built-in policy then that you will, they will steal the value of your fiat currency. And on that note, I hope to see you on the next one. We have Jimmy's song on Toxic Happy Hour tomorrow. We're probably going to get a little bit more wild and rowdy. But Jimmy's song is a super cool dude, and and it's going to be awesome to hang out with him tomorrow. All right, have a good one. See you in the next one. Bye for now. Thanks.